Hi,
he was
everybody.
able to hear that conversation, and he's going to call back in at 3. He's available then.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, thank you.
I didn't know the system was configured that way, but I guess now we do. Anyway, we have about 15
That's
seconds.
very good to know.
Okay, 10 seconds.
Friday vibes.
There you go.
Live on location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Live from Lake Wissota and the Kreitlow compound. I'm Todd Allbaugh, live on location, along with Mr. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer, back at the world headquarters in downtown Madison, Wisconsin. It is Friday, TGIF, May 23rd, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite, and Zommers, I only wish you were here because those watching on the stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twix, whatever you want to call it, and the like, look at the shop behind us. We got Lake Wissota next to me, the host of, almost said the wrong show, Mornings with Pat Kreitlow now from 6 until 9. Mr. Pat Kreitlow, who is so gracious to be our host, and our Northwest Wisconsin News Bureau Chief for Civic Media, James Kelly, live here and in person. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Pat, thanks for having us.
My pleasure. Welcome. Welcome to Lake Wissota. Welcome to the town of Eagle Points. Welcome to the Memorial Day weekend.
Right?
This is so great. It's almost great. We were supposed to be down here on the pontoon. There's a wind chill right now with this north breeze coming in right behind us, but it's not bad.
A little bit of blue sky over there.
A little flannel, a little hoodie weather will do you good.
It really is beautiful, and Pat, you overlook Lake Wissota here. You do your show here every morning.
Oh no, I do the show in the house. There,
you can see the lake from
those January shows just would not cut it here. But I understand the sentiment. It would be nice sometimes. 6 o'clock in the morning, though.
No,
doesn't lend itself to an outdoors.
Not so much. No. James Kelly, we talked to you a little bit yesterday down at WCFW downtown Chippewa Falls. You made the short drive up here to Pat's place. Glad to have you along. How you been?
Oh, I've been great since yesterday, and I feel like Pat, you could sell tickets to this view out here. Whole business waiting for you.
I know, right? This is really relaxing.
So you're saying I need to host more functions for Civic Media. I get it. Okay.
100%.
We'll set something up. I've been saying this for the longest time. I'm like, come on up, guy. And then you finally bring the show here. This is outstanding.
Well, I might do it once or twice more. We'll see.
This won't be the last time, I'm sure.
Now with a view like this, my gosh, and the hospitality, it's absolutely great. Big show today, by the way. Coming up in hour 2, we have Peter Rapine, managing editor of EPOM's World, will be along with a humorous look of the wild and wacky of human behavior at around 3:30. We also have another edition of What's Worse, Southern accent. I can't do a Chicago accent.
Bears.
The Bears, that's pretty much, or the late great now George Wendt accent. So that's coming up in hour 2. Also, we have David calling us, Brian's going to be here from Wisconsin Badger Honor Flight. Of course, that big event down at Kopke's Greenhouse in the town of Dunn outside the city of Oregon in Dane County. That's just below Madison, having a big brat and concession stand at Kopke's. All the proceeds of that, and also the big flower sale, the auction for those beautiful planters on Sunday at 3 p.m. We'll tell you how you could also call in and bid or donate. And Brian's going to talk to us about Wisconsin Badger Honor Flight in hour number 2 as well. Coming up at the bottom of this hour, Brady Ewing, 3-time Big Ten champion for the Wisconsin Badger football team, spent 3 years in the NFL. He'll be here as well, talking a little sports and life. But right now, gentlemen, I want to get into a little conversation. It should be 3 dudes with a beer. That's what we should have called this.
I was thinking it's more like, I feel like this is more the Bartles and James commercial. Remember the 2 old guys selling wine coolers? And then this is the grandson has come to visit over here to learn about the family business, except nobody drinks Bartles and James wine coolers anymore. So there's your 80s reference for the day.
I love it. At the hotel, I'm up here. By the way, I should shout out, because she wasn't listening yesterday. My favorite youngest niece, Isabel, graduated last night from Eau Claire Memorial High School, home of the old Abes, by the way, or just the Abes. But a beautiful ceremony last night. Shout out to Mike Johnson, the superintendent of Eau Claire Public Schools, and everybody else. They did a great job. So Isabel is graduating, and shout out to her and everybody else. You know it's a big event because family friend Lisa and Sean Holly have come into town. Lisa with her spreadsheet, so it's going to be almost like a Pope coronation for the graduation here.
We've held graduation parties for both our daughters back here, and for one of them, I mean, we got the tent set up back here and everything, and nobody left the house. It was a deluge all day long, just the rain, and I'm so glad that didn't impact the graduation last night.
Yeah, all kinds of graduations happening around the state of Wisconsin. I know this weekend, both high school and probably maybe some colleges as well. But guys, I wanted to get into. I want to forget about the headlines. They're important, I know, and Pat, you always cover it so well in the morning on Mornings with Pat Kreitlow. But I wanted to talk about just having a conversation, whether it's, Zomers is sending us a message here. We'll see here. Oh, I need to turn myself down. People have told me that for years.
Yes.
Turn myself. Zomers, how is that? Is that
That's better,
better? You're welcome. Be quieter, Todd. I want to have a little conversation about having a conversation because my show is based in Madison. We go all over the state. We have many of our shows based in Southeast Wisconsin. Pat, you're the only network show that's based up here in Northwest Wisconsin. And having grown up in outstate, as they say, in a more rural part, I think that we don't spend enough time on just getting to know our friends and neighbors around the state of Wisconsin. So I'm going to ask you guys about just having conversations, but I want to take Zomers just a little bit of this. This is from Katie Couric, former NBC, CBS News person, and she now has a podcast called Next Question. She had the Midas Touch brothers on talking about this from a little bit more partisan perspective. Let's just give it a quick listen here. This is Katie Couric with the Midas Touch brothers.
Why has right-wing media been so incredibly effective?
People are suffering. People feel pain right now. And people want answers about why they feel pain. They can't afford a home, and they're seeing rich people with 10 jets and mansions, and they can't afford a home. They don't know if they're going to be able to. We have to listen to people and what they're saying. Democrats, listen to what people are actually saying to you. People are suffering out there. And I think that they're getting easy answers from right-wing media about where their suffering is coming from. They're being told the immigrants are doing it to you. They're eating your cats and your dogs. And that sounds stupid to a lot of people, but people want an easy answer about why they're feeling pain. And when you can blame a marginalized community as they're doing it, and then somebody comes in and says, I'm going to make you rich. I'm going to make you the richest person ever, just like me. You're going to be so rich, you're not even going to know what to do with how rich you are. That message resonates with people who are suffering. It's built on fraud. But you combine the lies with a right-wing media network giving you a simple answer, and that connects with people.
That's the Midas Touch brothers on the Katie Couric's podcast. Next question. Pat Kreitlow, how do we connect with people better?
Well, it's a very good question because I'm thinking more about the onslaught of that messaging that they were just talking about, and a right-wing media network that has almost unlimited funds to provide the aforementioned easy answers. It's easy for us to say that this should all happen one conversation at a time, and it should. And James does this as a reporter, one conversation at a time. Mm-hmm. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what I need to know, and we should all be better listeners. And I'm not taking any pressure off of that from people, say, on the left side of the spectrum. I'm just simply noting that, the scales of conversation are a little tilted these days because we have allowed people with literally billions of dollars to, set the tone of the conversation. It just makes it that much tougher for, let's say, a state senator is knocking on your door and asking for your vote and asking what's going on. And this person's already been fed a steady diet of, the stuff that gets shoveled over here across the field. And so all we can really do, Todd, the short answer to your question is continue to ask questions of people and actually listen to the answer rather than necessarily pushing back or fighting back right away.
James Kelly, as Pat said, you do a lot of reporting up here. You're going to a protest, a rally this afternoon. You're also a sports guy. You grew up in Long Island. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. I read an article here, I think it was on ESPN recently, on Brewers' Christian Yelich, saying he's really become kind of the leader of the clubhouse. And he learned that now from the late, great Bob Uecker. When they first met, Uecker taught him and said, don't ask about a guy's stats or his batting average. Where'd you grow up at? What do you do for fun? Get to know someone. What do you hear in your reporting in Northwest Wisconsin when you go to a report? Are people talking past each other? What's on people's minds up here?
Yeah, I think before the 2024 election, we heard a lot about grocery prices, the overall inflation, and those concerns still exist today. And I think what you've seen is kind of a shift in maybe where that blame is being placed, where before the election, people were struggling. They wanted an answer. They wanted things to get better. So they went with the other party that wasn't currently in control. And you saw that globally, too, where a lot of countries that did have a more conservative leadership in their countries voted more liberal and kind of had that ideological shift because they're struggling. And these are difficult conversations to have, like, very much in depth and really explaining down to the brass tacks what's on each line of this bill, that bill. Those are tough conversations to have, and it can be easier to just say things are bad, let's go with the other guy.
And like you said, to demonize other people, in this case, the fight over Medicaid cuts, and what I've seen all of our Republican members of Congress posting about is, well, we just need more of those able-bodied adults to get off the couch and work, without them actually asking, why are those people not working? Do they have a child at home? Do they have a disability? Can they not afford child care because the child care crisis has not been adequately addressed? If you get the answers to those questions, then you can truly help people, as opposed to demonizing one group to get the votes of the other.
Pat, I know you and your lovely wife Sherry go to Fish Fries up here and spend a lot of time. James, your private life is your private life. I don't know, whatever you're out and about.
Whatever you do.
I'm assuming you don't just sit in the newsroom all night. But I mean, what do you guys hear? Because when I was in Hayward for the Birkenbeiner, people were talking about the state girls hockey, high school hockey tournament. Maybe it was the boys, but the state hockey tournament. They were talking about the NHL playoffs is also at that time. What are people talking about day to day around the Chippewa Valley? James and Pat.
Well, definitely not the Bucks anymore, unfortunately. There was a good bit of Bucks talk going on before that. I think nowadays it really is one of the main conversations around here is revolving kind of around the unhoused population. Even the Eau Claire Police Department just this week said we've gotten even more calls this past year than we did the year before. It's getting worse, and it's a visible problem. So people are seeing it every day as they're walking through downtown Eau Claire, and that conversation carries over. And then there's the usual stuff. How are you doing? There's not exactly a local sports team around here to rally behind so strongly. But I'm sure when the Packers come back, it'll be all Packers talk again.
and around here, the affordable housing crisis is something real. When they talked about people not being able to afford a first home, is a very real thing around here. Previously, a lot of the conversation went around the healthcare situation up here when two hospitals, including St. Joe's just across the field over here, abruptly closed. There's just a lot of uncertainty, I guess, is the undertone of all of this, whether it's politics or the economy or, frankly, sports at times. It's uncertainty. People say, how do we get back to a more certain time? How do we get back to something that's a bit more stable? I don't have an easy answer to that, but I know that's what I think. That's really that lack of stability, security, consistency is what people think about a lot around here.
Yeah. We're going to come back having more conversations about having conversations. But I want to talk a little bit about how do we turn down the tone so we can actually listen to one another without ignoring some really big and important things. I think that's a big challenge right now, and maybe a little fun along the way. Stay tuned. We are live on location from Lake Wissota and the Kreitlow compound. It's the Allbaugh Show across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network.
We also
You
need to
guys
do
are just
Free
the
Ticket
best.
Friday.
What? Oh yeah, thank you. Let's do that right away when we come back. I'll announce it quick. We can open it and do that real quick. Thank you for the reminder.
You need to run off now or after the next one?
Oh, I can do it after the
Okay,
next
cool.
one.
Awesome.
I don't think you understand.
I budgeted out a full half hour.
Oh, how nice of you.
Yes.
Right, but I need to have you make a commercial about commercials.
Wait. A commercial about a commercial?
This is just the best place to do a
I
show.
want to tell potential business owners out there how
It really
to make a
is.
commercial on WMBF.
But it's also like when I get back in there, I got to keep working on the Memorial Day thing. It's the kid with the violin lessons while everybody else is playing. You look out here, and you see everybody on the water, and it's just making you crazy because there's so much more work that's got to get done. And then eventually I'll go.
Yeah.
That's why I don't look out the window.
James
Gotta board
stays
'em
under
up.
his blanket.
Yeah, it stays under the blanket for it. But the whole studio in a room with no windows.
You just focus
Oh, it's
on
like
the
our old
work.
studio.
Then you go play. Yeah.
Well, the studio didn't have no windows. It was the producer.
It was the
booth that had no
producer's room.
windows.
Yeah.
Say A2.
Oh yeah, that also has no windows.
We learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
Brian in Milwaukee texted in asking, any snakes lurking around?
No,
I hope not.
Present company excluded. What's-
Hey, Wisconsin, it's
Yes.
election season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants
no, there was a nest of snakes right next to the satellite dish yesterday.
I would tell you about that eventually.
Like, by the way, you guys cool with the fact that my property is infested with snakes?
Right.
You guys are good with
No
that.
problem, right?
No problem.
I also charge for parking, so
I'll get up. My truck will be gone. I'll be towed.
Blazing Saddles. I have
30
a
seconds.
makeshift toll gate.
All right.
The Lepetamine Memorial Driveway.
Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. It has led us to Lake Wissota. We are live on location at the beautiful shores of Lake Wissota here at the Pat Kreitlow Studios. And,
The Lake Wissota studio actually exists, and the pontoon is here, but it's way down. It's a very steep bank that we're on. But
if I would have lived here, Pat, and ran up and down those, I'd be in much better shape.
or dead,
Or dead.
either one would apply in
Right
this.
here at Pat Kreitlow, of course, of Mornings of Pat Kreitlow every morning from 6 until 9. James Kelly, our Northwest Bureau Chief here for Civic Media News. Before we go any further, Zomers has reminded us time once again for Free Ticket Friday. Let's go.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love.
That's right. It is time for Free Ticket Friday. Once again, your chance to win 4 club seat tickets to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Can I ask a question
Yeah, please.
first, though?
Yeah.
What's with the Monkeys tune? What was that about?
Well, if you were a true Brewers fan, you would have known back in the late 80s, early 90s.
When they would win the game.
When they would
play
win the game, they'd
over?
play that song.
That was in the late 80s and 90s,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, continue. All right.
Look, I'm going. The demo for this show
Okay.
is millennials.
We're skewing Metamucil today, folks. Yep.
I learned something today. I didn't know that. When Todd
didn't know
suggested
that?
that
See?
song, I was
You
like,
see?
it's a good song.
That's why you asked the question.
Yeah.
Can't remember
Why
saying I heard that
ask
in person
the
either.
question?
Normally I do. Normally I like to know
James
why,
wasn't
but on this
even a
one-
twinkle in his parents' eye in the late
I don't
80s,
think
early
parents
90s.
were a twinkle in anybody's eye yet back then. Anyway, the ticket.
All right, the lawyers tell us this is a statewide contest. I'll get thrown into Lake Wissota if I don't say it. All right, here you go now.
It appears Todd has briefly cut out for a second, but I can help out here. So the tickets that we are giving away today are for the May 27th game at 6:40 against the Red Sox, the Boston Red Sox. So
Oh.
that's a Tuesday. If you're not able to go, then don't worry about texting in. All right, Todd is back.
I'm not,
Where did we go?
I'm not sure what happened there.
Did you pull the plug over?
All I said
No,
was the
it's all
word
good.
score. The
know-
attorneys, the censors pulled our signal.
I
The
sense
word
somebody
is
probably
score.
used their boat lift. You know,
Right.
and It just took
All
too
right.
much of a drain on power. But anyway,
The word is score. 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 The word is score. Text it right now to the Civic Media app, and you'll be on your way to, perhaps on the way if you are chosen on Tuesday, May 27th. As Amr said, that game against Boston at 6:40. The word is score. SCORE. Talking to Pat and James here a little bit more about having conversations with our friends and neighbors. Pat, it's all of our shows, but you do a great job every morning talking about the headlines. You're on the first thing in the morning, and there is this fire hose of information. How do you think that we don't play that down? But also, I just think if we're pounding every day on that, people are going to get tired. How do we have a conversation first before we get to the headlines?
I really come back to something that I used to say at the TV station as well, and it's about having a balanced diet, not just of food, but of where you get your information sources. And by the way, as an aside, I made a lot of people feel really old yesterday when I told them it was the 20-year anniversary of my last day at the TV station.
Yeah,
that I've been away from it.
WEAU.
Yes, but thanks to that gig, and also as a legislator, people feel like they can stop you at a fish fry or at the grocery store and say, what's the deal with this? And so you look for trusted people to have conversations with. And you don't just take everything that you hear on face value. This thing we talked about this morning, where the Chicago Sun-Times and some other newspapers ran a whole recommended books list for the year. They had AI write it.
Wow.
And
wow.
Most of the books didn't exist because nobody proofed it afterwards.
That's
so
ridiculous.
It really is just about, look, I'm glad people get it from my show and from your show, but look around a little bit, ask some questions. Don't unplug entirely and say, it's all divisive. I don't care. To me, that's the one wrong answer. But to balance out that diet of where you get all your information from.
James, you're a guy who follows sports. I'm not sure if I've ever asked you on the air. Did you play sports in high school or growing up?
I did, yeah.
What did you play?
Yeah, I played baseball and basketball growing up, and then ran track in high school and then a little bit in college before I just kind of decided, you know what, I don't think I like running a half marathon every Sunday morning at 8 a.m., especially in college.
So we're going to pick up on this with Brady Ewing after the bottom of the hour break, but just a person that spent time in the locker room and a teammate, how did you connect, or how do you think is best to connect with people just if you want to build a team, and ultimately our community should be a team?
Yeah, I think, every team has its kind of cliques, the people who just, they play the same position or they run the same races, so they all kind of work out together. And every team also kind of needs that one guy who's able to connect to those groups and just say, okay, I'm going to, we used to go to like Chipotle before one of the meets that we had every year, to which our coach would say, cool, you're all running the 2 mile now. Just that one person who says, let's all just go together and we'll all sit together, and like, you get to really bond in those times when it's just downtime. There's nothing else to worry about, but it's not someone you would probably typically hang out with.
And see, that's my point. I think we need more. I just know to some people it's going to sound stupid. I don't male bonding, person bonding, but just do something away from politics. Just be real people, Pat.
Yes, and that's what you have to do. Go to those fish fries. Go to wherever and have those talks with people. People sometimes they want to talk politics with me, and I quickly deflect because it's just there's a time and a place, for every kind of subject. And leaders themselves, it's much like chemistry on the radio or TV. You can't manufacture it. That leaders just emerge. Chemistry just emerges, and it's usually from the people who either work the hardest or have the biggest heart, for one another. They strike up the conversations and they can motivate each other, even if they don't have, say, the highest batting average on the team. And, then others, they have it all. And we give them the afternoon show and let them travel all over the state. And
no, that's not
thank
true
you
at
for
all.
being our big show.
No, that's not true at all. I'm just here. I'm the water boy. The Civic. Pat Kreitlow, James Kelly, thank you very much. James has to run.
I'm going to go do some housework. You should carry on.
Pat will be back later. Captain Stubing here at the Pat Kreitlow compound. Come on back. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show, live from Lake Wissota. There it is.
There's
on
the hat.
Civic Media Radio Network. Brady Ewing's next. Don't go anywhere.
It's yacht rock time.
This is it, Beavis. We're finally going to score.
Thanks, James. Appreciate you coming up. Great to see you. All right.
Have a great show.
All right. Thank you. Take care. Oh, that was great. All right. Thank you.
Son managed to come out for you.
Giannis Antetokounmpo does not request a trade in his meeting with the Bucks.
On the horizon.
Yep. We'll kind of readjust. All right. Thank you. Yeah, that'll be better.
Tony on YouTube says, thanks, James. Tell your folks I says hi.
What?
Hey, Brady.
Yeah, I'm fine. All right, thank you. Appreciate you.
Looks like we're all missing out. Todd's chilling on the water up there.
Brady Ewing.
What's up?
We are live from Lake Wissota.
Looks beautiful.
It is beautiful, man. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Can you guys hear me okay? I'm trying a different microphone setup here.
I think it sounds better, yeah.
Yeah, it actually sounds better, I think.
Good. I got one of these little deals pinned next to my face here. So
Look at you, all fancy.
Robert on Facebook says, hey, Brady.
What's up, Rob? Hope you're doing well, man.
All right, well, we'll pick up a little bit. So I was talking to Pat and James here just a little bit about, and obviously I won't take you down a political road, but we were just talking about, how do we start, before we have conversations about politics with people, how do we just have conversations? I played this clip from Katie Couric's podcast. She was talking to the Midas Touch brothers, and they were talking, I won't talk about this with you, but they were talking about it from the standpoint of, the right-wing media, it oftentimes will take people are having real hurt, whether it's not being able to find a home or struggling financially or whatever it is, and then they, make in our opinion, makes things up and say, oh, it's all the immigrants. If we get rid of the immigrants, your problems will be better. But those are, and some people will laugh at that, but that's an easy to understand answer to people who are feeling real hurt. And so, James, he comes from Long Island, but he played high school sports and stuff. And I asked him this, and this is where I kind of want to pick up with you a little bit, is as you travel and work with youth or in your time in a college or a professional locker room, how do we just connect with people? And I'll talk about this article I read on Christian Yelich and advice that Euchre gave him. And how do you just get to know someone first? And isn't that the first step in building communities? We don't have to go with you with politics, but just how do we make our communities stronger by just getting to know each other?
Yeah, it seems pretty basic.
It seems that way. You would
seems pretty basic, but yeah, super powerful, whether that's community or a team or a school, whatever maybe. So yeah.
So we'll talk about that.
I was in the waiting room, so I was hearing you talk a little bit.
Oh, okay. All right. So, all right, cool. So we'll talk about that. Did you see that the over under on the Badgers is 5.5? 5.5 games. Yeah. Wait, what?
5.5 games won?
Yes, that's the over under in Vegas right now on the Badgers.
Cow. I mean, tough schedule, but
right.
Far cry from our undefeated season a couple years ago.
So we could talk a little bit about that. Is there anything in particular you got going on you want to talk about?
I was on a podcast called the Camp Podcast, which is centered on Wisconsin, and we were talking about the fullback and the new offensive coordinator, and that coming back a little bit into the Badger offense. That was fun.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, that'll be good. As far as other things going on, just family stuff, keeping us busy.
30 seconds.
All right, cool. All right, we'll
see where it goes.
We won't run out of time. Or we will run out of time. All right, here we go.
To this day, when I hear that song, I see you standing there on that lawn, Discount shades, store-bought tan, flip-flops and cut-off jeans. Somewhere between that setting sun, I'm on fire, I'm born to run. You looked at me and I was done, but we're just getting started. I was saying,
welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network across the state of Wisconsin. It is, we'll call it 35 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock on a TGI Friday here. We are live on location at beautiful Lake Wissota, home of Pat Kreitlow, host of Mornings with Pat Kreitlow every morning from 6 until 9. We thank him for letting us use this great space. We are on his, kind of a deck here, right before we get the stairs that go right down to the boat dock, and the pontoon is on the water. Lake Wissota right behind us. It's a beautiful day here in northern Wisconsin. Joining us right now via StreamYard, back at the old hometown, an equally beautiful part of the state in the Driftless and Richland Center. Three-time Big Ten champion with Wisconsin Badger football team, also served as captain his senior year and spent 3 years in the league, as they say, the NFL, for Atlanta and Jacksonville, respectively. Mr. Brady Ewing for our bi-weekly conversation. Brady, how the heck are you?
I'm doing good, Todd. Thanks for having me. Thanks for queuing me in.
Well,
Your schedule
thank
today.
you. Thank you. We appreciate you. And always fun to sit and chat a little bit. Have you, boys, Rachel, have you gotten up to northern Wisconsin yet to kind of explore things, or are they campers, or I don't know. I know they love the outdoors.
Oh, they're obsessed with the outdoors. So I know they're watching today's show. So you're probably planting a seed, which is good. But they've tried to camp out on our land before. That's a story for another day. But love being outside. Love, harvesting things that you wouldn't think you could eat and figuring out if they can eating crickets, grasshoppers. I mean, they're survivalists at their core. So it's pretty cool. They would love it up there, no doubt. Looks
No,
beautiful.
I know this about your four boys, and I really feel like you're not only have you begun your own starting four, at least for a potential basketball team. Honest to goodness, I feel like your four boys could do very well on Survivor because they do have those survivalist instincts. I think they could. You give them 10 years, and I think you got a real shot, Brady.
I won't fight you on that. I know we have watched Naked and Afraid. I will say that. They love
That's
that. They love that
fantastic.
show. So they like that show. They read the survivalist books. And thankfully they blur it out and the people end up putting, coverings on, but they love that show. They like all the outdoor stuff.
I think that's great. Well, it's a beautiful part of the state up here in Lake Wissota. We're happy to be here. Brady, I wanted to pick up on this conversation we were having before the break with Pat and James Kelly, our news director up here, and just want to spend some time this week on this Friday because the headlines could get overwhelming in the news, and it seems like there's always a crisis every day. And, in my opinion, some of them are. But I think the first step in having conversations about building community is how we listen to each other. Because I think too often we get in our own news or political silos and don't ever want to actually listen to somebody else. All we want to do is try to convince someone that our way is the best. And I think the first step is to get people to listen. I read this great article recently interviewing Christian Yelich from the Milwaukee Brewers, and he made this point that Bob Uecker taught him because when Yelich was traded from Miami to the Brewers to Milwaukee, they sent down a plane to get him in Miami to get Yelich, and on the plane was Robin Yount, Brewer legend, and Bob Uecker. Wow. And he said that Uecker just spent time on the way back just saying, well, so where are you from? Where you got brothers, sisters? Like, what do you do for fun? And he really taught Yelich that if you want to build a clubhouse in sports, just create a normal relationship. Ask the same things you would of your teammates that you would your cousin or your neighbor. In your time, you played 4 years for the Wisconsin Badgers. I went to 3 Rose Bowls, 3 Big Ten championships, 3 years in the NFL. Tell us a little bit about what you've learned in your time as a college and professional athlete about building community and relationships.
Yeah, we might have talked about it before, but I think Coach Bielema did a really good job forcing our hand on this a little bit during some of my early time at Wisconsin, where he would actually during fall camp, encourage us to sit with different people at dinner, after practice than we would normally want to sit with our, position groups or the people that are from the same part of the state. He would try to, force us to have conversations to the point where he would actually give us, questions to ask if we went to a hotel and they paired us up with somebody else. It's like, and to your point, Todd, it wasn't anything earth shattering. It was the basic questions to better understand people, to learn about their family, learn about their upbringing, what makes them them. Because I think, sport in the locker room has a way of bringing everybody together. I talk about it all the time, like a broke record, but bringing everybody together to chase one goal. So you're able to set some of those differences aside and find common ground in the fact that, hey, we're all here. We all want to win. We all want to represent Wisconsin well when we were playing with the Badgers. And to be able to set those differences aside and find the common ground, the things that we all have in common, those basic fundamental principles, whether it's in a sports team, whether it's in a community or a school, wherever it may be, there's so much that we have in common. And if you're just naturally curious to learn from other people, learn about them, learn what makes them tick, maybe that they have a different perspective or opinion than you do, but why don't you try to find out why? Ask questions to understand, why they might hold that opinion, and not asking the specific question in that way, but just learn about their upbringing, learn about their faith background, their familial situation, and you start to have a genuine love for people that allows you to set differences aside and know that we're all here trying to do our best in a day-to-day situation in this thing we call life, and to be naturally curious, seek to understand, and just show love.
Yeah. Let me ask it this way, and obviously without naming names, but what's like a big turnoff in a locker room or a team situation? What are things that put barriers up that make it really difficult to get to know someone or even work with them or trust them on a team?
Yeah, I think, if they don't want to have a conversation with you, I mean, you have certain guys that are in a certain part of the locker room. I mean, we had assigned lockers, but guys that wouldn't want to have conversations, or when we went to have lunch, they'd sit off in the corner by themselves, or, you know, they were very, very opinionated, and it was their way or the highway. I'd say it was kind of those two situations. Either you were kind of an overshare on what your thought process was and your opinion was, or on the other end of the spectrum, you weren't willing to engage and have a conversation. And so I think that's a good learning for life too. It's like, okay, how can we, I think it's okay to hold opinions and to challenge your opinions and learn about things so that you can, continue to grow. But let's not be so quick to share those in the locker room or whatever we're doing. It's just, hey, let's seek to understand first. Let's be curious about other people for the genuine nature of just wanting to get to know them, to have a better relationship.
We're talking with Brady Ewing, three-time Big Ten champion with the Wisconsin Badger football team, as, in my opinion, one of the absolute best fullbacks of all time at Wisconsin, and then spent 3 years in the NFL as well with the Atlanta the Atlanta Falcons.
The other bird, Falcons, yeah.
Yeah, I've got my birds. I'm out here in nature, Brady. I'm getting my birds mixed up. And with Jacksonville Jaguars as well. Brady, you go around and talk to youth, and if people want to get in contact with you, Brady's on Twitter and on Instagram. You can find him at Brady, Bradie Ewing, and what is it? It's Ewing 34, right? On Twitter.
On Twitter, Ewing 34. Yep.
Ewing 34. All right, very good. And on Insta, is it just your name or what is it?
Brady.Ewing. Yep.
Brady.Ewing. There you go. Reach out to Brady because I hope people get a taste, Brady, when you come on this show of just how inspiring and how fun you are to be around. And this is the real deal, folks. Like, this is like exactly the way that we talk when we're not on the air. And so I just find it a lot of fun. I know you go out and you talk to groups, particularly athletic groups around the state. How do you, when you're talking to, is it mainly high school kids, Brady, that you speak with?
Yeah, up until this point, yeah, it's been mostly high schools. Could be athletic departments, could be specific teams, but been doing a lot with just high schools in general too, and their general student population.
So when you talk to that age group, how do you change it, or how do you make it more relatable to them in terms of just connecting with their own peers?
Yeah, I think it's first, setting your own mindset right, that we're not seeking a specific end destination. Like, this is a journey, and I think the coolest thing about the journey is the challenges, the people that you do it with, the successes you have along that journey. And so helping reframe the mindset of, okay, there's really no light at the end of the tunnel, and that shouldn't be, depressing or concerning. It's, hey, makes you focus on the moment, focus on the here and now, the people that you're alongside, whether that's your classmates, your teammates. And I think it reinforces the fact that um, really it comes down to relationships, whether that's your friends, your teammates, your family, the people that you do this journey of life with, enjoying the moment alongside them.
We have only a couple minutes here, and we're going to come back and talk more directly about sports. Monte Ball, one of your former teammates at Wisconsin, he was going to be on the show. He had to reschedule. His flight got mixed up, but he's going to come back on the show. We're going to try to do it with you on a day. Holy cow. I went to this thing that he did in Madison here a couple weeks ago, fireside chat with our friend Kristen Bry, and the transparency, the honesty. When he talked about watching the Super Bowl with the team he was drafted by, the Broncos, and he did it from a jail cell after he had struggled with alcoholism, the impact, and now where he's at in recovery, and the ability to start reaching out to high school kids, that's the guy I want to be around with a teammate, Brady.
Yeah, I mean, I need to go back and hopefully they recorded that of some sort and I can get my hands on. I wasn't able to attend or tune in yet, but yeah, I mean, Monte's story, it's really encouraging, the fact that he's using it for good, that he's in such a good spot now. He's using it for good to then help inspire and empower others to, hopefully choose a different path or seek to get help when they might be in those situations. And so I think it's yeah, just awesome to see. He's such a good teammate.
And what you just said there, Brady, and he spent a lot of time on this, is the stigma. Like when he was at Wisconsin, running backs coach, he said he tried to reach out, but there was a stigma. If I'm really honest about what I'm struggling with, am I going to see less playing time? Does it go all the way to the head coach? I mean, these stigmas, when our friends, our families, our teammates, when they're struggling, we have to make it okay to not be okay.
100%. And I didn't necessarily have that in my own right from a mental health perspective or substance abuse or anything like that, but you feel that way because you put so much pressure on yourself to perform and you don't want to seem like you have a chink in your armor, whether that be, for me that was more injury related. It's like, okay, I'm gonna hide these small little injuries so that they think I'm just chugging along doing my thing, and other people in other ways like Monte mentioned there. So definitely a way to improve.
If folks need help, 988 is the number to call or text 988 in the Mental Health Awareness Hotline. Come on back. We'll talk with Brady Ewing, talk a little football. What's the over-under on Wisconsin wins? Yikes. We'll tell you after this. Don't go anywhere. It's the Allbaugh Show on location on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Come work with us. Civic Media.
That was so good. That was, oh my gosh, that was 90 minutes of time. Sometimes you leave things, you think, well, there's an hour and a half of my life I'll never get back. That was like 90 minutes of like, I wish I could have 90 minutes more. It was that good. Just his willingness. I mean, there were probably 100 people there ish, maybe 75. But there were a lot of mental health people in the room that were working with youth and whatnot from Journey of Mental Health. But his willingness to just put it all out there, incredible. I mean, absolutely incredible.
Did they tape it?
I don't know. I can find out from Kristen. I'm not sure. I hope they did, because it was just that good. But we'll work out. He felt badly, but it was beyond his control. His flights got mixed up. But I would love to try to work it out and set aside an hour and do it together with you guys.
Yeah, we should try to do it. Oh, we could do it virtually too, but even the next time he comes back to Madison, it'd be nice to try to get everybody get together.
Yeah,
be fun.
it would be. It'd be absolutely fantastic because it's a really a powerful story. But as you said, it's uplifting when you look at what he's doing now, what he's come through, where he's at, and what he's doing with it.
Oh, it's yeah, and hopefully that didn't come off wrong. It's heartbreaking,
right?
But yet,
yeah,
like the way that he's used it to transform his life, be in a better spot, and now hopefully helping others, be their best self. Like that's really cool.
100%. No, it's really amazing. All right, we'll talk a little Badgers when we come back.
I looked up the schedule here.
All right. It's tough,
man. Yeah, and even we'll talk about it when it comes back out later. Wow. I watched and prepped for that other podcast I did. I watched a video from Jeff Grimes, the new offensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, how was it?
And really love his mentality and his history he's an offensive line guy and run game coordinator at heart. So I think he wants to reestablish the run at Wisconsin and try to use all the different tools that he has, whether it be a running back, whether it be receivers, to just put the best offense together each year, which is cool.
Well, here's hoping.
30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, here we go.
And please give the score again.
All right.
Yes,
the score. The word is score.
Nice. You get the tickets?
Yes, the texted word is score. Something Todd hasn't done in quite a while.
Who comes up with these? Zommers, you make those words?
No, he has no knowledge. He disavows himself. All right, here we go.
I was no daddy's dream, was not your mama's prayer, but I was your first and your last ticket out of there. I caught your wings on fire when I smoked my Bronco tires out of that town.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We are here beside beautiful Lake Wissota. We are live on location at Lake Wissota in the beautiful Chippewa Valley, just north of Chippewa Falls here at the beautiful home and compound. It is a kind of a compound. It's a beautiful, beautiful lot here. Pat Kreitlow, host of Mornings with Pat Kreitlow, every morning from 6 until 9. Appreciate Pat. He'll be back with us a little bit later in the show. Right now, we're joined, as we are every other week, by 3-time Big Ten champion, Mr. Brady Ewing. Also spent time as captain of the team his senior year, 3 Rose Bowls, and then spent 3 years in the NFL for Atlanta and Jacksonville. All right, Brady, before we get back into some sports talk, we have to give the key word in our free ticket Friday. We got to do this again now. If the boys are watching, I probably should have asked your dad first or your mom, but I'm just going to say it on the air. We will we'll coordinate and we will go down because I know one of the boys was deeply disappointed that we left in the 8th inning and did not stay for the 9th inning of the Brewer game.
Oh yeah.
Guys, we'll stay for the whole thing. We'll go on a day where it's not so hot. We'll stay for the whole thing. So you've been in these seats, Brady, that we're giving away. They're pretty darn nice.
Oh, they're great seats. You get the ability to come inside and check out the concession stands, get in the air conditioning.
Yeah.
I think I heard him cheering out in the living room. When,
All right, very good. All right, we will take the Brady boys or the Ewing boys down to the game this summer. Looking forward to that. But here now, your chance, the home viewer and listener, to win 4 club level seats to the Milwaukee Brewers game next Tuesday, May 27th against Boston. The first pitch at 6:40 in the evening. All you have to do to be eligible is text right now on the Civic Media app the word SCORE, SCORE, SCORE. The word is SCORE. Text it right now to the Civic Media app to be eligible. All right, Brady. Your alma mater, the Wisconsin. Well, first of all, they announced this week that next year's first game against Notre Dame will be at Lambeau Field, and somebody tweeted out right after that and said, "Wow, that'll be a really good test for the new coach."
Oh, ouch, burn.
That was quite the take.
No, that was. I went up there. Actually, my dad, Brandon, and my dad, David, Brandon, my brother, and I went up to the LSU game.
Were you there?
Up,
Wow.
up at Lambeau. That was just quite the sight to see Lambeau filled with red and just a lot of energy in that game. So that was pretty cool.
And the Badgers and Coach Chris pulled it out, beat LSU up there. And I think LSU was number 5 in the country when they beat them up there. All right, so the over-under on the Wisconsin Badger football team, according to Vegas right now, at least one of the booking online booking places, Badgers 5.5 wins. That is the over-under. Brady Ewing,
That's
I ask
wild.
you, do you take the over or the under at 5.5?
Man, that is wild. So I knew the schedule was tough and I had seen it, but I pulled it up during break here and I'm just looking at it, and you got some of the games of old where you felt like they were gimme games.
Right?
Now
Not
I
so
feel like
much.
there's not as many, but you look at Illinois, you look at Minnesota, I mean even Indiana,
Yep.
like, those are all super competitive teams now. And
I've got those all as
Wisconsin,
losses.
what's that?
I think they're going to lose all 3 of those that you just said. In addition to
Wild.
Iowa.
I mean, they got the first 2 non-conference games, Miami of Ohio, Middle Tennessee. I mean, those should be winnable games. But then Alabama, even Maryland now is playing better football. Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, Oregon. I mean, there's no off weeks. It's not like the Indiana of old when I was playing and even Illinois, you felt like you could go in and get a handy full win. I don't even know if that's a word. So whatever I was trying to say there.
It is now. An easy one. A gimme.
An
A gimme
easy
punt.
one. That's leave it to the radio guy. An easy win.
I'm a simple guy.
Get some of the second string guys some reps, and that just is not the case. So 5.5 is probably very realistic, especially with the way Badgers have struggled. I hope we get the over, and I'll take the over in optimism and true fashion.
All right. I'm taking the
Are
under.
you taking the under?
I'm taking the under. I think it's going to be another 5-win season. I'm not happy about that. You understand? I hope I'm desperate.
Doubt.
I hope they're wrong. And we're not. These are not our final predictions. We'll wait till we get closer to opening weekend. But when I saw that, I was just the odds people. I just thought, wow, that says a lot about where the program is at in terms of perception, at least.
Oh, absolutely. And so then let's speculate if it isn't under or around that line, is Fickle there another year after that?
Well, that's the big question, right? I mean, is this buyout too expensive, or do they say no? They're going to give him one more. And Monte Ball, when we asked, we talked to him a little bit after this event here in Madison a couple weeks ago, and I brought this up to him because it had just come out, and he was like, oh, I don't know. He didn't want to say.
It puts you, as a former player, it puts you in such a tough position because I feel like we have such a culture of winning. When I was there in these past couple of years, everybody knows how that has played out, and it's just it's a tough position to be in because you have this eternal optimism that the program is what it has historically been, and we just need to reestablish that. And I am taking more of a positive note, excited about what I'm seeing with Jeff Grimes, the offensive coordinator, his background as a offensive line coach, a run game coordinator, and just what I'm hearing from him as far as philosophy of establishing the run, doing it in the trenches first, using a fullback again a little bit when needed. Excited about that, and I think that will be fun to see. Hopefully, reestablish that run first culture that Wisconsin has had since the early '90s.
All right, Brady Ewing, we thank you so very much. Have a safe Memorial Day weekend with the family up there. Might see you around the neighborhood. We'll see. But thank you, Brady. We always appreciate you. Have a safe weekend.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me.
All right. Our pleasure. Come on back. We talked about Wisconsin Badger Honor Flight on the other side of the break, as well as what's worse. Don't miss it. It's the Allbaugh Show on location on the Civic Media Radio Network. Amazing. Thank you, Brady.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, Todd. Glad it worked out, man.
Yep. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
See you, Zommers. Yep. See you guys.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah. Always fantastic.
Indeed.
Look at that beautiful sunshine there
Sunshine on
on my shoulder. Makes me happy. All right, so this is it was we said Brian, right?
Yes, Brian Ziegler.
Oh, what the heck did I do with my? I've lost my card. Better than losing my mind. It's hot pink, so it's easy to see.
One would think.
You would think. Maybe I put it. Hang on. Maybe. Oh, here it is. Crichton just rolled his eyes. Right? Exactly right.
You got a guess right off the top here?
Yeah, we got Brian. Yeah. Yeah, come on for that. We're just gonna do what's worse. You can joke around and do that. Yeah. And yeah, we got Peter Ray playing with the weekend review stuff. Yeah, let's do that. Cool. Thank you. All right, Zommers.
We have Brian ready to go. What were you going to say?
Very good. And I just wanted, how does it pronounce Brian's last name?
Ziegler is what I remember him
All right,
saying, but I
very
will
good.
ask to double
All
check.
right, thank you.
On the role of UWs in the economic vibrancy of Northeast Wisconsin and the entire state. This support comes as Wisconsin drops a spot to rank 44th of the 50 states in public funding for four-year universities.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, very good.
25-27 biennial budget, Governor Tony Evers proposed increasing funding for the UW system by $856 million. However, Assembly Speaker Robin Voss has called that budget request a non-starter.
And we've got a whole lot going on this weekend. The Monona Memorial Day Parade is on Monday. It kicks off at Senate Middle School at 10 a.m.
And then when
There
he's
are
on,
lots
I'll
of
put
Memorial Day ceremonies, including
cop
from the
keys
Madison
info
Veterans
back up.
Council, Madison
All
Veterans
right.
for Peace,
Thank
and
you.
VFW Post 7591 and 10272. And the Mallards are back in action. Monday is opening day. They'll be
Hold
hosting
it.
the
A
Fond du
quick
Lac
trip in
Ducks.
Janesville.
It's a big year
Check
for the
your
Mallards.
tickets.
It's their 25th birthday. The Run Madtown races are this weekend, so we'll have some street closures throughout the weekend. Mostly they're around the UW campus, toward the Capitol on the Isthmus, and one of the races will go around Lake Wingra. And if your garbage gets picked up on Mondays, the Madison Streets Division will come get it on Tuesday instead. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. Have a safe weekend. 92.7 WMDX News.
A big night for Yelly. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball, the Brewers managed to get a win despite a long rain delay. They beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 8-5. Christian Yelich, who was just 2 for 34 in his last at-bats, hit 2 home runs with 4 runs batted in to break out of his slump.
Yeah, I mean, it feels good.
Also, I checked on their website. If you want to use his title at all, he is chairperson of the board of directors.
Awesome, thank you.
Finding ways to score runs, and nice to see some stuff pay off.
NFL, after a week of team workouts, it's the Packers' annual softball game tonight, started by Brett Favre, then hosted by Donald Driver, and now Jordan Love.
We're excited. My second year kind of helping run the show. I know last year Donald was a big part of it, and he kind of passed the torch, which was pretty cool. So it's going to be 25th anniversary is pretty special. Obviously, the game's been going on for a long time, so to be able to, take the torch and kind of just carry it and keep it going.
That's Packers quarterback Jordan Love with Sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
Tons of sunshine on tap as we head into the long weekend. High temperatures today scrape the low 60s. We make it to the mid 60s tomorrow, and then we soar to the upper 60s for Sunday and Monday. Chances of rain look to hold off until Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot. Right now it's 62 degrees.
With Pete Schwaba.
Oops.
Last week I asked if
What was
me
that?
swallowing
I
like
accidentally
100
did the rim
mayflies
shot
on a
and the
walk
whip. I just meant
breaks
to do the
a
whip.
fast because I was doing intermittent fasting. 0.008 calories per fly.
You are breaking a fast though, because
Probably.
it's not zero.
It's not 0 calories.
So you did.
Well, that really sucks. I mean, don't get me wrong, they tasted good.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Weeknights from 6 till 8 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app. The John and Gordy Show.
Catherine,
what is
she's
wrong
obsessed
with
with a man in uniform.
Do you get to drive the truck sometimes?
I made a new Nightlight promo that we had to pull because it went too far. I'll send it to you later. This is really funny.
The fire people, they're here. The truck's here. Bring the kids.
In my defense,
What's the matter? They've got very
they
big
recommended
hoses
me to
that
do
they
it.
have to lift.
All right, 30 seconds.
All right, thank
It's
you.
hard to hold those hoses. I'm sure it is.
God.
Live on location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Live from beautiful Lake Wissota, Wisconsin in the Chippewa Valley. I'm Todd Allbaugh, along with our producer and engineer, the fantastic Mr. Aaron Zommers, back home at the world headquarters of Civic Media in downtown Madison on State Street. Zommers, good afternoon. It is Friday, TGIF, May 23rd, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite. Glad to have all of you along with us. Zommers, it's the sun is starting to come out a little bit here. As for those watching on the stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and the like, beautiful Lake Wissota right behind us here. Many thanks to our colleague Pat Kreitlow for letting us set up here in his backyard, where he does, well, he doesn't do it, as he said, from the backyard, but he does it from his home studio here, the Lake Wissota studios of Mornings with Pat Kreitlow every morning from 6 until 9. Zommers, how are things back down in Madtown?
Beautiful day here as well. Really sunny, and it's only 60, maybe 62 or 3 degrees, which I love.
I know you do. I know you do, and you love the cooler weather. It is the kickoff of the Memorial Day weekend here. We came up last night, and big shout out to my favorite youngest niece, Isabel Galoy, as she, along with all of her classmates at Eau Claire Memorial High School, graduated last night. The old Abe's here in Eau Claire was a good time had by all. We're continuing the festivities over the weekend. I know a lot of people have weekend plans, and a little bit later this half hour, we're going to lighten things up and bring on our friend Peter Rapine, managing editor of EPOM's World, and talk about the wild and wacky nature of human behavior. Before we go any further, I want to once again give everybody the text to win word this hour up until 4 o'clock here. Up for grabs are 4 tickets in our club level seats for next Tuesday's game on May 27th. The Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Boston Red Sox. The first pitch at 6:40 p.m. Make sure you are able to go. If so, dial up the old Civic Media app on your smartphone. Open it up. You'll have a little icon there that says text. Click on that and then text the following word right now. The word is SCORE. 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 Text the word SCORE, singular form. Remember, the computer chooses this, so any misspelling, you're out of luck. The word is SCORE. SCORE. Text it right now, SCORE, to the Civic Media app to be eligible to win in our Friday ticket, our free ticket Friday Brewers giveaway. But right now, coming up here at 9 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock, I want to turn to the phone line. And joining us via phone right now is the chairman of the board of directors for the Badger Honor Flight, Brian Ziegler, who is on the phone. Big event this weekend down at Kopke's Greenhouse in Dane County in the town of Dunn, just outside the city of Oregon. They're having a brat stand tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday, and all the proceeds from that, as well as their big plant sale on Sunday at 3 p.m. goes to the 100% of the proceeds to the Badger Honor Flight. Brian joins us via phone right now. Brian, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. When I get on the road, Brian, I get a little spacey, and I thought I booked you for this hour, and you were kind enough to show up at the top of the show. So thank you for bearing with us and rearranging your schedule for us. I really appreciate that.
No problem.
So tell us a little bit about, for those that might not have heard, I know you get a lot of press, at least on local television when these flights come back home, but I'm sure there are people that are like, Badger Honor Flight, what is this all about? Tell someone who might not have heard of your organization what you are.
Badger Honor Flight is part of the Honor Flight Network, which is comprised of 130, we're called hubs, across the United States. And our mission is to take veterans to Washington, D.C. at no cost to them to visit the memorials built in their honor. And so for us, it's a one-day trip. We leave Madison typically around 7 a.m. and we get out to D.C. Ronald Reagan Airport, and we visit the Arlington National Cemetery, the Marine Corps Memorial, Air Force Memorial, Vietnam, Korea, and the World War II memorials, and sometimes the Pentagon 9/11 Memorial. And we do all that in one day. Then we come back to Dane County Regional Airport here in Madison, and we have thousands of people there waiting to welcome them home. We have a band that plays. American Red Cross is there serving refreshments, sign-making area for the kids. And it's just a great way to, long overdue, thank you and welcome home to our veterans.
It's an incredible organization. I can't say enough great things about you folks. I know our friend and colleague Phil Nee at WRCO Richland Center has had you on his show and talked to you. I know our friend and colleague Jane Matnair on air every morning from 9 until 11 on the network. She's had, I believe, people, because there's a, I don't know what to call a sister companion organization out in Milwaukee, right, that does a similar thing.
Yes, there's actually 6 of us hubs in Wisconsin. So yes, there's Stars and Stripes is out of Milwaukee.
So this is a great way for people all around the state, wherever your hub is at, to get involved. But I'm most familiar with the Badger Honor Flight out of Madison. Like I say, the TV stations, most of them do a really great job at these homecomings. Tell us how this began, Brian. My understanding was originally to honor World War II veterans as they started to just age to a point where they were dying before they ever got properly honored. Was it with them or was it with Vietnam vets, or how did this start?
Actually, about 2 days ago was our 20th anniversary of the first ever honor flight trip. And that was coordinated by Earl Morse out of Ohio. And the World War II Memorial had been dedicated the year prior, and Earl had worked in the VA hospital system. And he talked with several of his patients who were World War II veterans, and quickly found out that these men and women didn't have the financial wherewithal to go visit the memorial that took so long to be built, that was built in their honor. And Earl got this idea together that, well, you know what, he was a pilot and he got 12 Cessnas to take 12 veterans out to Washington, D.C., and that's how he started it. And then the other co-founder of the Honor Flight Network is Jeff Miller, who started up a similar organization out of Hendersonville, North Carolina, in honor of his dad, World War II veteran, and he did a charter flight. Earl and Jeff got to learn about each other, got together, and they have now formed what we now call the Honor Flight Network. And since 20 years ago, we have flown over 317,000 veterans nationwide.
Wow. Congratulations. That is just absolutely amazing. Talking to Brian Ziegler, the chairman on the board of directors for Badger Honor Flight out of Madison. Brian, talk to us a little bit, because Kopke's Greenhouse, they do this annual event. I think Gordy said they raised north of, I'll have the number wrong, but I know it was north of $12,000 between the auction and the brat stand out there. Do you folks fund Badger Honor Flight? Is it totally funded on donations, or how does this happen financially?
Yes, Badger Honor Flight is funded 100% by donations and guardian fees, and we are also 100% volunteer ran. So we don't have any paid staff, any paid facilities that we got to pay for. So we're proud to say that over 96 cents of every dollar that's donated to us goes straight to that flight day.
That's incredible. When you say guardian fees, what does that entail?
For Badger, every one of our veterans has a guardian who is responsible for companionship, and more importantly, the safety of the veteran. Everything from leaving Madison that day throughout DC and getting home that night. So each of those guardians pays a $500 fee to go along on the flight.
Sure. Makes sense. You got to pay for their ticket, obviously, as well. I just think it's amazing that the community, again, this is part of what makes Wisconsin great, Brian. I don't care what party, what candidate people voted for. I would hope that, and so many of us do in Wisconsin, Wisconsinites, we rally behind those who served. Because again, we might not have always agreed with the conflict or the war they were in, but all of us should be thanking and honoring the men and women who put on the uniform to protect our freedoms. And this is just an amazing thing that you all do. Again, for those watching on the stream or for our listeners, if you want to get involved to help raise money for Badger Honor Flight, go to Kopke's Greenhouse in the town of Dunn tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday for their brat stand. All the drinks proceeds and food proceeds go to Badger Honor Flight. And then on Sunday, at 3 p.m., they're auctioning off about 45 or so of these big, beautiful planter pots live there at Kopke's at 3 p.m. If you can't make it, if you're listening to other parts of the state and you want to help out, here's the number. Zommers has it on the screen. We'll put it in the show notes as well. 608-835-7569. 608-835-7569. And as you just heard Brian there say, 96 cents of every dollar goes 100% to the Badger Honor Flight.
Yes, yeah, that's each of these flights cost $135,000. So when you donate money to us, we put every penny possible towards those flights. We're very mindful of our generous donors and the money they give us.
Yeah. Just a couple of minutes left here, Brian, before we let you go. Just give us a personal memory. I'm assuming you've probably gone on at least a couple of these, or you've talked to veterans or their families, their guardians, as you call them, when they come back. Give folks just a personal memory of yours, something that really touched you and why you're involved in Badger Honor Flight.
I got involved years ago by a fellow Iraqi war veteran that I served with. He got me involved, and it's been one of the best things I've ever have done in my life. But the personal is actually on the last flight, so that's very recent for me. We have an area out there. They're doing a lot of renovation in D.C. by the Thomas Jefferson FDR Memorial, and the path is under repair. And I had a veteran and one of our volunteers out there say that this veteran and the guardian wished to walk on the walkway that we had said, please do not walk because it's unsafe. And I come to find out that the veteran used to live in D.C. and him and his wife did, and they used to walk this path for years, and it had a lot of sentimental value for him. So I said, yes, I will go with them, and so that he could have one last memory. Had his wife's photo with him, and he was holding it, and every so often he would stop, go by a chair, go by a tree, which had a special meaning. And I've come across a lot in my years doing this with Badger Honor Flight, but to help a veteran have an extra special memory out there that was not related to a memorial but more personal, that really hit home for me.
Incredible story, Brian. And I think you just encapsulated it perfectly. Each of these flights, there is a memory for each veteran. It means something. It's not just a trip, not just a day vacation. It's a deep-held meaning to have that, for some people, closure, for some people, a thanks. But this is an individual. We talk a lot about how do we honor people. This is by getting involved and donating to Badger Honor Flight, you're giving each one of these veterans a personal memory. Am I correct?
That is exactly correct.
Yeah. Well, I hope everybody gets involved. Have a great event at Kopke's this weekend. We'll keep plugging it throughout the show. Brian Ziegler, thank you so much, and best of luck with these Badger Honor Flights. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much, Todd.
Yep, our pleasure. Come on back. We will do our next round of What's Worse. Stay with us. We're live from Lake Wissota across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network.
All right. Well, that was great.
That was awesome. Yeah, really, really good.
That last story was very cool too.
Yeah, super great.
All right. We also have Ollie in Northwoods on the line. She had a quick thing to say about Badger Honor Flight.
Okay.
Before we do what's worse.
All right, sounds good. Great, thank you. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, on the stream, the proprietor, the Captain Stubby of Lake Wissota, Mr. Pat Kreitler. It's good to be the captain. He said it's good to be the captain.
I can't hear you over the TV.
If this sounds like your house, it's time to visit Madison Hearing Aid Center. They'll help you turn down the TV.
All right, let's see which one we got here. Where's the test?
Check the one.
Nope, it's the other one.
It would definitely be the other one. There I am. All right.
Look at that lake, ladies and gentlemen.
I tell you,
I haven't heard that in 20 years.
gorgeous.
It really is.
MadisonHearingAidCenter.com.
Herbal Aspect has landed. That's right.
I don't know why, but I have a sudden urge to go up north and go out on a boat, go fishing, crack open a cold beer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something's
You
making
really
me want to do that.
Yeah, something. Something.
The trilliums are in bloom.
I know. So many trilliums this year.
Beautiful.
Yep, we get a ton of them every year.
Did you guys plant any of those, or it's all
Oh,
really
all wild. Yep.
Wow, that's really cool.
Isn't just a pipe dream. Nice. I'm rolling over now. Herbal Aspect.
Spring is
Seen the
here.
bears around lately. We had 2 bears in the neighborhood this
Really?
Yep. That's why you don't see any of the bird feeders hanging right now.
Oh.
Everybody's bird feeders took a hit.
608-209-2185 for expert care and a vibrant tomorrow.
Hey, Wisconsin,
Bears
it's
in the
construction
woods.
season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones. Check 511wi.gov or download the app for road work or
30
closures on your
seconds.
route. Know
Thank
before
you.
you go with 511.
Get the birds singing just on cue for you here.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic point aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailing man, the skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour.
Welcome back to beautiful Lake Wissota. Well, there's no storms yet.
No. Commerce, what are you doing?
Welcome back. We are live on location, Todd Allbaugh Show, across the Civic Media Radio Network here in beautiful Lake Wissota, on the shores thereof, with our host at the Kreitlow compound, the host of Mornings with Pat Kreitlow, every morning from 6 until 9, Mr. Pat Kreitlow. Pat, we were going to maybe go out in the pond too, but a little nippy right now. We'll do it at a future show.
But I like how for years now, I've been in this house for 30 years, and occasionally people refer to it as the Kreitlow compound. To see it in writing down here on the screen now on social media is that's a little off-putting to be
Really?
honest.
Okay.
It sounds like there should be bars up to keep you from
No,
getting out.
It's like the Kennedy compound, as long as there's no...
Okay. You're better off with the Gilligan's Island references than Chappaquiddick or anything else like that.
Right?
So yeah, we could do a 3-hour tour here.
Yeah, I think so.
want to
Maybe a
stick
future
around.
show. Many thanks to Brian Ziegler of the Badger Honor Flight. Great organization, Pat. He was saying there are 6 chapters basically around the state of Wisconsin. I know you've talked about it on your show. Jane's talked about on hers. But they do such great work for our veterans across Wisconsin.
Well, of course. And it's just so important to not only maintain that level of respect, which is done in many ways, by the way, protecting healthcare and things like that, but also these signs of appreciation and these signs of honor that, as you said, was started with an aging World War II generation and continues on.
Yeah, if people want to donate this weekend, again, the number at Kopke's is 608-835-7569, 608-835-7569. Before we do what's worse, quickly, on the phone lines, I believe we have Ollie. Ollie from the North Woods. Ollie, guess what? I'm north of Highway 29, so I'm technically in the North Woods.
I'm looking for Ollie right now.
Ollie, what do you want to say?
I just wanted to say that I had heard earlier about your Honor Flight program and the flowers, and it reminded me that I had seen an episode on NCIS of an actual Honor Flight thing. And it was in season 14, episode 19. I looked it up. It starred Bruce McGill, who was a Vietnam vet. And it is really quite moving, and people would definitely enjoy watching that program and seeing just how it's handled and how good it is for the veterans.
Well, that's great. I really appreciate you sharing that. Thank you.
Very nice little TV tip there.
I would our friend Kelly Call, former president of CBS, appreciate the diligence of NCIS.
Well, especially now with this streaming age, you can look up anything like by episode.
Right.
So that was nice.
Thanks, Ollie. I really appreciate that. A good shout out there. Great when television can take a moment to salute real life as well. All right, it is 26 minutes past the hour, 3 o'clock. Let's do a quick one. One time once again for What's Worse. Let's go.
The choice is yours. You can get with this. Or you
Time
can
once
get with
again for What's Worse. Nothing to give away, no prize money involved, but it is your chance to have your voice heard all across all 11 News Talk sports stations in the Civic Media Radio Network. No better place to advertise your business than Civic Media. Find out how at civicmedia.us. All right, Zommers, timely indeed. It is Memorial Day weekend. Lots of people coming to the North Woods, right, Pat? You get the influx of the fibs of all the folks coming in from Illinois. So today's category, timely indeed. What's worse, a Southern accent or a Chicago accent? A Southern accent or a Chicago accent? Accent. A Freudian slip.
Well, there's a lot of freeways there.
855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Or you can text us on the Civic Media app.
Todd, I feel like you got to be really careful with this one. Like you're potentially upsetting two very important groups of people.
Do we have a lot of Southerners watching the show?
Accent, and the new Pope has a Chicago accent, or is at least from Chicago.
Well, okay, I'll grant you one there, but honestly, do I get a vote?
Sure, yeah, of course. You're here. You're our host.
What's worse?
Yeah.
It's got to be the Chicago accent, the Southern one. When you meet, we've got people on our staff. We've got an outlet in North Carolina. We've got people from Georgia, and they have this lovely lilt to their voice, But then Chicago. Tony on YouTube, I totally agree with you. Yep.
Yeah, I think he puts it best. He just says, "Ugh, Chicago."
But the tourism areas up here.
We love you. Bring your money. Absolutely. Come talk to us. It's not about football, please. Exactly. And Dan Schumacher, who's on all the time, he's just upriver right now and is insufferable during Cubs season.
Really? Yeah.
And Bear season.
855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. What's worse, a Southern accent or a Chicago accent? Zommers, I don't have my text up in front of me here, so if you got a text in, let me know. We can you can read it out. I tend to agree with you, Pat. I think I find Southern accents kind of cool and charming on most people.
Most people. Now, it can be done, as you a lot of times see in the movies, like in a very condescending way. Buford T. Justice on Smokey and the Bandit or something like that. Usually if it's some kind of a
Boss Hog.
Roscoe
P. Coltrane.
Yes. Really, all we do, it's two old guys in their rocking chairs talking about old TV.
Do you know years ago, because Tom Wopat, who was on that show, is from Lodi, Wisconsin, and Schneider was
John Schneider, yeah.
Yeah, they were Boa Luke Duke or whatever. My mom and sister and I, right before the show went on the air, they were at the Vilas Zoo in Madison, Wisconsin. Before they were Boa Luke.
They were big deals.
Yeah. Okay. And so you had a Wisconsin guy, Tom Wopat, trying to do a Southern accent.
Oh, gosh.
On Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, remember that show very well.
Yeah. All right, well, we're out of time. I guess I'm going to say Chicago accent is worse. All right. Well, come on back. We'll talk to our old friend Peter Rapine, the world of the wild and the wacky. Don't go anywhere. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show from Lake Wissota. Yeehaw! On the Civic Media Radio Network.
Those two boys.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Oh boy.
There he is, live from Brooklyn, New York. The one, the only Peter Rapine.
What's up, boys?
How you doing?
Good. Always good. It's Friday.
All right. I am here. I am here on beautiful Lake Wissota.
I was gonna say not as good as you. Yeah. What are you doing?
I know, right? We're doing an on-location show in northern Wisconsin today.
Any reason? Just for the heck of it?
Well, the truth of the matter is, my youngest niece graduated from a city nearby, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and it's they call it what is it, Summers? The book. It's rating season. So unless we're dying and about to have an appendage amputated, we are not supposed to take vacation. So in order to attend said niece's graduation and still do a show, I had to take the show with me. And so one of my colleagues, he lives about 20 miles away, and he does his show from here. And he said, yeah, you can come up and do the show up here.
Oh, great. That's fun.
So
great view.
And in the meantime, we're just hanging out outside.
I'm jealous. It's it looks nice there. It's pretty crappy here in New York today.
Is it really? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So I got the stuff you sent. The first one that you weren't sure if we could use, yeah, we can't, unfortunately.
Might be the best one of the week.
Oh, the censors have
We can play it now.
The Civic Media censors.
Yeah, play it now. Yeah.
Todd, at least we can get Todd to hear it.
Yeah.
What is it? What? I because the setup here, I can't see my email.
All right, so headline is Children's Toy has a song that you definitely don't want your kids singing. It's like a little kid's
Children's Toy
Plays a little
has a
record.
song you don't want your kids singing. All right. Is there audio, Summers?
Yeah.
I love Little Pussy.
This song is just for you, little kitty. Now you sit here in my lap while we sing. I love little pussy. Her poop is so warm. And if I don't hurt her,
That's an actual kid's toy?
Yeah.
Yes, it's
like
a little fake record player.
And because it's talking about the kitty, the pussy, the little kitty pussy. Like Puss in Boots, right? Puss in Boots.
And like the dad or grandpa is like sitting in like a recliner next and he's dying. He's just like ripped in half.
I think we would get a talking to if we did that.
Yes. If we could do it. We could do it, Peter. It may be our last segment, but we could do it.
Could do it. All the others.
But for those
Aaron,
watching on the
Tracy-
stream, I mean, that was gold. That was great.
Yeah, all the other ones are good. There is, I mean, I obviously because they're from your website, but there is also the video from the first one with the DoorDash driver and the first like 5-10 seconds. If you want that, we can
Yeah, I
use
think
that
we can
audio.
use that. Yeah, that one's good too. I mean, imagine ordering a DoorDash from the plane, like as a joke, and then you see your driver like pull up outside, and you're like, "Oh shit, give that guy a tip."
Oh, that's fantastic. Ba-ba-ba-da-da. God bless you. Zoom tight. Mhm. Are you feeling ill, Peter?
Well, a lot of people have been wearing masks on the train this week, so I don't know. Maybe they know something I don't know.
Something's going around.
Oh, it seems like it. Yeah.
By the way, for the streaming audience, not to get too personal, but is the new girlfriend thing still going okay?
It's going great. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
Excellent,
Peter
excellent.
Peter found love in Mexico. I'm very happy for him.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna meet her in Zurich in a month.
Wow.
Excuse me, Peter Rapine's going to Zurich, as
Yeah, I've
one
never been.
does.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
we have
she's at the-
25 seconds.
Meeting her in Zurich. All right, here we go. Live on location from beautiful Lake Wissota in northern Wisconsin. This is the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. It is 35 minutes now past the hour of 3 o'clock. TGIF, that means it's Friday. No better way to end the week than with our friend, our ongoing contributor. He is the managing editor of EPOM's World, joining us from beautiful Brooklyn, New York. It's Mr. Peter Rapine. Peter, how the heck are you?
I'm doing great. I'm here with you.
Oh, you're too kind. Well, you always feel better when you join us, Peter, because at the end of the show, we have a smile on our face after we've laughed a little bit, and it always makes us feel better spending time with you.
And same for me, because it's a nice way to sign off every week. I get reminded of some of my favorite stories. I get to make you laugh. We all have a ball.
We absolutely do. We're here at beautiful Lake Wissota, as you see behind me here. Now, because people are curious. People have built up a rapport with you, Peter. They've come to know you a little bit, and we appreciate that about you. You've told us now a couple weeks ago that you've met this new significant other, this young woman in Mexico, and we understand now things are going very well. And you're going to Europe now to meet her. Is this right?
I am. She's out there right now. She's actually listening right now too. So hi.
Is she really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I thought I was doing pretty well at Lake Wissota, but it ain't no Zurich.
Yeah, she's meeting friends, and so I'm going to meet her in Zurich, and we're going to Berlin, two places I've never been. So
really, I've heard Berlin is a big club, is like a big party place.
That's what they say.
Are you a big Peter? Now, Peter, this is very interesting to me because are you the kind of guy that likes to go out into clubs and dance until 3 a.m, or are you more of a wine and chill guy?
It depends on the day. But I live in New York, so a few nights are better than nights when you leave your house at midnight and you don't get home until 6 a.m.
A few nights are better, you're saying?
Yeah. So I do. I like to go out and I little.
That tells me everything I need to know,
and
I love it.
You find a lot of that in Berlin. A lot of techno.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been?
I'm really excited.
No, I'm just familiar with a lot of musicians who live and or work there.
All right. Well, that's great. Well, we'll have to have a full update when you return from Europe, Peter.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Looking forward to that. All right. Here we go. All these stories can be found at ebombsworld.com, ebombsworld.com. And as a reminder, these are not fiction. This is not stuff that Peter has made up. These are actual real headlines from actual real stupid humans. Am I right?
Yes. And no one either dumber or smarter than the first guy in our first story today. Headline reads, a DoorDash driver accidentally ended up on the Chicago O'Hare runway.
A DoorDash driver accidentally ends up on the Chicago O'Hare runway. How did this come about?
They don't know, actually. No one is sure how he got there. He didn't get charged. They let him go scot-free. They were like, here's the exit, good sir. But they don't know how he ended up there. And I wonder if he even knows. Probably someone ordered DoorDash on a plane or at the airport, or maybe it was a worker or someone in, like the plane maintenance facility. No one knows, but he didn't get in trouble. I imagine maybe he just, gave the officers who pulled him over a free hamburger and they let him go.
I have so many questions. First of all, I have great admiration for whoever ordered it, because with the wacky airlines right now, people are spending hours stuck inside of a plane on a tarmac, either unable to get off or unable to take off. And so I think it's hilarious if someone was caught there. Well, what the heck? I'm going to order DoorDash, right? This will show them. So that's number one. Number two, though, I mean, it seems like to me, whenever I go to the airport, if I just take the wrong, turn to a restroom, I find myself in trouble at the TSA. How in the world did this guy get onto the tarmac?
Right. Obviously, some security had a slight. They left the door open. They left the gate open. So, right, fault probably not on him as much as it is on whoever's supposed to keep DoorDash drivers off of the runway. Like, if you can get onto the runway, it's not really your fault. It's someone else's fault.
Peter says the guy who's supposed to keep DoorDash people off the runway, as if there's a certain person just for that.
I imagine there probably should be.
Well, obviously now there certainly should be. All right, well, that's so, and also the guy didn't get in trouble. That's
no,
crazy.
I think that's the best part of the story.
Right.
Yeah,
The guys
they were just probably
going
impressed. Like, I've never seen this before. Good thing you didn't get hit by a plane or something.
I think you're onto something, though. He probably just goes, "Hey, I got McDonald's here, Chipotle. You want some Chipotle?"
Yeah, right. Who wants it? Yeah.
All right, Peter Rapine. Next headline.
Next headline comes to us from New Jersey. New Jersey man crashes his car, insists it's only because he was trying to get some meatball sandwiches.
New Jersey man, not Florida man, New Jersey man crashes his car, but insists it was only to get some meatballs? Is that right?
Yeah, so this is one of the funnier police body cams we've seen. And it's a supercut of sorts of a man his car is in a ditch on the side of the road. And he is just talking. He kind of sounds a little drunk, but he's just talking about how he's in a rush to get meatball subs. And we have some really great audio for it.
All right, here we go, Zommers.
My kids wanted some meatball sandwiches. The kids wanted meatball sandwiches.
All right.
Meatball sandwiches.
Fair enough.
So I'm like, I'm gonna take the van, get some meatball sandwiches. I'm like, they're like, hit me up with some Wawa, get us some meatball. They wanted, everybody in the whole house is like meatball sandwiches.
I got you.
He said, hey, get some meatball sandwiches.
Hey, listen, your kids want
Dude,
meatball sandwiches.
This literally is a meatball sandwich result.
You like the meatball sandwiches, though? They're good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But
have you been to the new shop on Route 70, Ryan and Howie's?
Ricky Bobby, don't put this evil on me. I love me some confrontation. I've been in the cage, I've been in the ring, I've been in combat. I live a half mile from here.
He clearly gets bullied by his family, like as he's tipsy to go on a Wawa run for meatball subs.
That was that's some of the best audio you've ever brought us. That was spectacular. And I have a feel there's a part of me that thinks if it wasn't New Jersey, is this guy doing DoorDash in Chicago? Well, they ordered some meatballs on the plane, some wah, and here I am.
Well, that guy probably had some, what are those, the beef sandwiches?
The Chicago beef.
The Chicago beef. That's what that guy had.
That was fantastic. We're talking to Peter Rapine, the managing editor of E-Bombs World, with the wild and wacky week in review, actual crazy humans doing actual crazy human stuff. Peter Rapine, next headline.
Okay, the next one we have, this one might actually be the best audio of the week. Dude links uncle's Tesla's turn signals to fart sound. So basically what a guy did is he hacked his uncle's Tesla, and you can turn the sounds in the car to different things. And he turned it so that every time he put on his turn signal, it made fart noises. And this is
inside the car.
Inside the car. And this is the reaction when he finds out.
All right, here we go. A man has hot-wired his uncle's Tesla. Every time the turn signal goes on, it plays fart noises on the speakers. Here we go.
We're going to go right now. Take that off. You know what? You're a sick man.
Just in case you couldn't hear it listening on the radio, he says, you know what? You're a sick man.
You're a sick man. That's the sound of a guy who has given up.
Right.
It's like, I have nothing else to say.
And this just goes to prove, I keep saying this, Peter Rapine, I'm an analog guy living in a digital world. Because this just, when you get to a certain age, I would not know how to shut that off if my nieces or my godsons were doing this. And so I have a certain amount of empathy for this guy. He's bought a Tesla. He's probably a little ashamed now he has a Tesla. And now his kids are putting fart noises on his turn signal.
Yeah, he's definitely stuck that way, but I think deep down he's enjoying it. I think there's a small part of him who's like,
yes,
I love my nephew. Oh, funny guy.
I kind of think you're right about that. He was thinking, well, while I was her age, I probably would have done the same thing.
I would have done the same thing. Yeah. I mean, the future's pretty cool, though. You might burn alive in your Tesla, but at least it's going to be making fart noises while you do.
You'll at least laugh on your way to death. So, heck of a way to go out. All right, Peter Ray Pine from ePalm's World. All these can be found at epalmsworld.com. Next, wacky headline.
Let's meet the woman with the world's loudest burp.
Are you talking about my sister? Let's meet the woman with the world's loudest burp. All right.
So, a woman
where's she
named
from?
Kimberly Winter from Virginia, 33 years old, registered a burp at 107.3 decibels. And she is now the official record holder for the world's loudest burp. And she credits her loud burps to Sprite, if you were wondering.
Really?
In her belly, Sprite makes the most gas.
Now I have a lot of questions on this. Is this a world record holder where they're bringing some sort of a measurement thing to the sound or what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
We have some audio.
All right.
And
Here we go.
Note before I play it. So 107.3 decibels. The average rock concert registers between 90 and 120. So her burp is as loud as a rock concert standing in the front row.
Oh my God.
As loud as the Foo Fighters.
Here we go.
The best drink would probably be a Sprite with a snack. And then all of a sudden you just let a big monster burp rip. My name is Kimberly Winter.
107.3.
And I hold the world record for the women's loudest burp. I've always been told that I was the loudest burper anyone's ever heard. One time I got kicked out of a bar just for one burp. A lot of people are disgusted at the dinner table. My mom hated when I burped, but I started recording my burps on TikTok and it really took off. A lot of my fans like me to burp their name. My audience grew really fast. So just be yourself because you never know how many people out there are going to enjoy you for just being you.
Enjoy you for just being you. Holy macaroni. That was fantastic. And the fact, how many followers does she have? That's what I want to know. I bet it's huge.
I don't know. I'll follow back on that.
I mean, the fact that she created TikTok, right?
Yeah. She kind of blew up on TikTok and then, yeah.
And there's the music and the drama. I'm going to tell it's like a ESPN 30 on 30, 30 for 30 or something.
Well, the video
and it's a woman who just belches.
It's the video itself is produced by a channel called 60 Second Docs. So they make these kind of cute little promotional videos for weird, internet stories. But
Peter, what the hell am I doing out here next to Lake Wissota with my little dog and pony show where I could be belching for a living and with a lot more money and a lot more followers? I'm going around taking this equipment all across the state trying to talk about news when I should just be belching. You understand?
You probably should be. My one question is, why is burping segregated by sex? Why not male and female competing together?
I don't know. My sister could give her a run for the money, though. My sister's a loud belcher. We should have her on the show sometime doing that. All right, stay tuned. More with Peter Ray Pine on the other side. The Wild Wacky Week in Review. And Kreitlow may bring us a drink. Stay tuned on Lake Wissota on the Allbaugh Show.
Cam and Appleton texts in and says, "Nah, this burping stuff is a fetish thing."
Just
you wait, Cam. Just you wait.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. That was really amazing.
Good.
The dramatic music adds a lot too.
It does.
Yes. The fact that they made this production out of it—that's what really makes it.
Yeah, the clip is great.
CP suggested that we keep a recording of some of those burps just to have them in case we need it.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God, Pete, you've outdone yourself this week, my friend. This is a particularly good week.
The next one might. I keep saying they're all my favorites. But the next audio, I don't know if you heard that yet, Aaron. It is so funny. It's so
They're
weird.
also
It's
there's just a lot
so
of good stuff
weird,
this year.
man. Did you guys? And then the Timberwolves one doesn't have any audio.
I watched the video though.
There's no question what that guy is doing.
Oh yeah,
in the video, no question.
Oh my God, he really is bringing us a drink. This is fantastic. I only wish you were here, Raypon and Summers. Look at this. I mean, you can't do better than Pat Kreitlow. You understand? Look, thank you. Look at this. It's an old-fashioned by the lake.
Read the glass.
Oh, work.
Because work.
Because work. Look at that. That's fantastic. Because work. Oh my God, this is great. I need to do more shows in Lake Wissota. I tell you that right now.
Kidding, I told you. Absolutely.
Peter, this is my colleague and friend Pat Kreitlow, Peter Raypon.
Hello, Peter.
Nice to meet you.
Joining us from beautiful Brooklyn, New York.
Well, I mean, we can't all be on Lake Wissota.
Right.
or in Brooklyn.
Do you like the Kreitlow campus better?
The Kreitlow campus.
Well, it sounds like I need to be teaching something. So
better be careful. Jay Robert will shut us down.
Stately Kreitlow Manor,
Stately Kreitlow Manor. Oh my word in heaven!
You're going to go with like Kreitlow's Acre,
Dun, 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 dun.
Stately Kreitlow Manor. There it is.
He's quick.
Yep. So, of course, Mathers is looking at all of us having fun over there.
I'm sure he is.
Right away, he gets a note, where's my Memorial Day show?
Just chill, Mathers. It's fine, Lukester. It'll be fine.
20 seconds.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on location at Lake Wissota across the Civic Media Radio Network, where it is 8 minutes now before the hour of 4 o'clock. At the top of the hour, ABC or CBS News, depending upon which of our great stations you're listening to. Brittany Merlot and our weather team with a weather update. I'll tell you what it is. Nice. That's what it is up here at Lake Wissota. And then our great sports reporter, Mike Clemens, in with a look at what's happening across the state of Wisconsin in terms of sports. And then stay tuned for Maggie Dawn and the Maggie Dawn Show every afternoon from 4 until 6, and then Pete Schwaba live from WGBW in Green Bay with Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Right now joined here on set, which is beside Lake Wissota, at the stately Kreitlow Manor, by our fine host himself, the host of Mornings with Pat Kreitlow every morning from 6 until 9 across the network, Mr. Kreitlow, who has brought us a beverage. Cheers, Patrick.
It's old-fashioned time, old-fashioned o'clock here on Lake Wissota.
Oh, that's the real deal. Oh, my word, you're fantastic.
Had a little practice here over time. Some might say too much, but...
Well, we're joined, Pat, by our old friend Peter Raypine, managing editor of EPOM's World, for our annual look at the wild and wacky here, the week in review. Peter, I'm sorry I don't have an old-fashioned for you. But let's take a look at the next headline. Oh, he has his own little drink there. All right, go ahead,
Yeah,
Peter.
I'm drinking a coffee. The next headline, and I know I've said this a few times now, but this is actually my favorite audio of the week. It's the type of story that I think only can happen in America. Headline reads, Walmart shopper has lighthearted run-in with the woman who stabbed him.
Walmart shopper has a lighthearted run-in with the woman that stabbed him. All right, go ahead.
And to preface this, I'll just say, most people say forgiveness isn't true, but true forgiveness is real. It's difficult, and this man can teach us all a lesson in that. Run the audio, Aaron.
All right, here we go. Audio.
Sarah.
Hi, how's it going?
Now, what happened? What'd you do to me, Sarah? Well, I caused it though.
I stabbed him.
Stabbed me and I flew in a helicopter. I died twice, but you know what? I'm a reborn Christian, and I just hugged her and I told her. She said I apologize. I was young and we were
I was
on
stupid.
drugs.
Like I made a mistake. I was drunk. I mean, you know.
Yeah, she killed me. Give me a hug. I love you, girl. Don't worry about it. Come and see me preach in 2 weeks.
I'm on Facebook.
Come and, what did he say? Come and hear me preach in 2 weeks?
Hear me preach, yeah.
Pat, is there a lot of stabbings up here at Walmart in northern Wisconsin?
I was going to make some kind of a comment about Clark County, but it's
I'm not sure, Peter Rapine, if someone had stabbed me, whether I would have that much. I might forgive them. I would go to another aisle if I saw them at Walmart.
Yeah, especially
But
why
he's
is there
a
video
changed
running
man.
of this?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, clearly he just ran into her and he's a new man and he just wanted to say hi and posted for his fans on TikTok. My favorite line that he says,
it's always about the TikTok.
well, my favorite line, he says, she killed me twice. Like
Yeah,
he
I died
died
twice.
in the helicopter twice. Yeah.
The guy was med flighted?
Yes, there's a lot of backstory to that one. That we probably
A lot
don't
going
have.
on there.
Yeah, that's got many layers about youth, stupidity, alcohol, sharp instruments. Yeah.
No sharp instruments, just a little alcohol right now. All right, Rapine, next headline.
This one comes to us from Minnesota, and it was from the end of the Timberwolves Warriors series, the game after the Timberwolves closed the series out. So it's like 5 or 6 days old. A Timberwolves fan did a bump on live TV.
A Timberwolves fan, which is right across the river here. We're not too far away from Minnesota that way. Sorry. I did a bump. Explain to people who might not know what a bump is, Rapine.
So I'll try to say this without getting you guys in too much trouble. A bump is doing a small amount of a certain type of party drug that you would see in like an 80s movie.
Cocaine, we can say
in
that.
Miami. Oh, you can say cocaine? Okay.
Yeah.
Doing a little bit of cocaine. Yeah. So he's in the stands. Yeah, he's in the stands and he pulls out a little vial, taps it onto the top of his hand, and just blows it.
And the thing is, some director, and Kreitler was on TV. Someone said, "Take camera one and let it on the air."
I'm still back. I'm still stuck on bump. That's how old I am. That bump is the little shot glass of Jameson that you order with a beer, and so you get a beer and you get a bump.
Yeah.
You kids and your what you've done to our definitions. You've taken.
Did they used to call it a key? What do they call it?
What do they call blow back in your day, Pat?
I believe that was called Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody! This is fun. All right. Anything else on that?
No.
There's really nothing else you can say about that.
You can't top live drug use on TV. No.
All right. One final headline here, or one or two, quickly.
Yeah, one final headline reads, Dom explains how she prepares to poop on someone.
Dom?
And by Dom, it's short for the word dominatrix. So this woman is a dominatrix who gets paid to poop on men. And she gives us a rundown into how she prepares for this the night before. And we have some good audio for it.
We have audio? All right, here we go.
Prepare for my Dom session with me. So the prep for this session starts the night before because this man likes to be on. If you are new here, yes, we do this every single month. LOL. I wanted Jamaican food, so we got Jamaican food this time. Of course, I have to try to eat it all. If you know about Jamaican food, this was so much food, but
Kreitler right now is going, I used to be a legitimate anchor.
I used to have house rules here
on television. And I got stuck with Allbaugh talking about a dominatrix having a beverage.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. On that note, Peter Rapine, thank you. You can find all these stories at ebombsworld.com, the wild and wacky of human behavior, the week in review. Thank you, Peter. Have a great and safe trip over to the EU. We'll talk to you when you get back.
Take care.
All right, thank you very much, Peter Rapine, everybody. Many thanks to all of our guests, not the least of which Mr. Pat Kreitlow for being our host today. You can hear him every morning from 6 until 8 with Mornings of Pat Kreitlow. Also, James Kelly, Brady Ewing, Brian Ziegler, and Peter Rapine, and Zomer is back at home. We'll see you. We have a special show for you on Memorial Day. Be safe out there. Take time to remember those who served us and who gave up their lives. Pat, have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you for coming up.
Thank you very much. Maggie Dawn is next. See you on Monday. And there is a worm on my computer.
I was going to say, there was a worm going across the top, those little green worms.
All right, nicely done. Do we need something for Monday? I suppose.
Yes.
A letter of apology for talking about poop.
Dominatrix. All
Anyway, goodbye, everybody, on the stream.
Oh, goodbye. That's right, guys. Say goodbye. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.